What's up, man?
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I just got done my workout. I feel good.
Nice. Looking good in your primetime shirt.
Yeah, man, I got to represent Wrestlemania and all the festivities. I'm sure we got a lot to talk about.
I saw your tribute to Titus. That was really nice, man. I
Yeah, I
dig
did
it.
that edit all by myself.
Pat yourself on the back, man. Good edits. Good edits. I literally have nothing prepared. This morning I was like, man, like WrestleMania just happened. I miss talking to Fred. Let's just do it. I don't want to guess. I don't want to prepare for anything. I just wanna go.
Yeah, that's a great opening. And you need to put that Celsius down. Don't take this out of the opening. Get rid of that Celsius because they wouldn't sign me.
Ah, I thought you did.
No,
Oh yeah, you did some posts for them.
Yeah, I did like 3 months of work and they paid me like a lot of money.
Yeah.
I wanted to work with them again. I had reached out to them like the ending of my second month just to plant the seed. And they were like, unfortunately, we met our budget for the year. So we'll contact you later, you know. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. You got to continually, for me personally, the way it works for me, is I have to contact the people every couple weeks or months. But for me, you know, one door closes, another one opens up because, you know, I know you see my posts. I see your posts, but Glitch Energy, I signed with them for the rest of 2021. So you got to hustle. I always say my social media is an open diary to the world. So anything I ever post always comes from my heart. I say it all the time with the intent to inspire, motivate, and educate the masses. Everyone wants to know what I'm taking, what I'm supplementing with. I'm not going to post anything that I'm not using. I reach out to a company. I say, you want to collaborate? Let me try your product. And if I like it, if it works for me, then, you know, you use my social media to market your stuff. So I got to hustle. So out with Celsius, in with Glitch Energy, baby.
I like
Let's
it, man.
roll. You know what time it is.
WrestleMania was a crazy, crazy week. It was a crazy week extravaganza. And that's one of the things that I love about Mania season because it doesn't just last one day. It's a whole week. And it's awesome for us now because WrestleMania is now 2 nights. And I feel like this time around is the first time that we actually experience WrestleMania 2 nights the right way because, you know, with last year, it was so last minute with the pandemic and they just had to put everything together at the Performance Center. So yes, it was officially WrestleMania, but we didn't get that WrestleMania feel. So this time around, I felt like we really got the 2-night WrestleMania feeling to it. And a lot of great matches. I like how they evened it out with 7 match a night. At first, you know, I thought it didn't make sense for the Andre the Giant Battle Royal to be on SmackDown. And the SmackDown Tag Team Championship little thing they did, I thought that should have been on the card because that would have made it like 8-8. So I'm not quite sure why they did that. Maybe time constraints or whatever. But I mean, let's start off with that, man. Like SmackDown was kind of like a little kickoff to WrestleMania because they had the Andre the Giant Battle Royal and your boy Jey Uso won it, man.
Well, I love Jey Uso, but let me share what was a gut punch to me.
Oh,
someone that I hadn't talked to in a while. He was a friend of Titus, cool guy. I hadn't talked to him in a long time. For him to text me and say, "Oh, will they still have WrestleMania because it's raining?" And I said to myself, "Absolutely, the show goes on." Someone died in the ring. Years ago, the show went on. The pandemic happened. The show goes on. A little rain is not going to stop WWE. And I'm talking about the tragic, awful death of Owen Hart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's one wrestler besides Owen Hart and Yokozuna. 2 wrestlers I always wish I met, you know? And then with those things, the pandemic and, you know, a death in the ring, nothing stops WWE. The show goes on, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But for him to like just mention that, just text me on a Saturday, it was a gut punch, you know. I, and that's just me, boo-hooing, between you and I and our followers, But like for you to text me, of course the show's going to happen. But for you, of course, I wanted to be there. Or I don't know if I told you, but publicly, I planted the seed very early, probably January, February. Whenever Titus was going to be inducted, when it was announced, I said to WWE, I would love to come to WrestleMania and be a part of it and somehow get in the millions of dollars dance. 2 seconds, you know what I mean? 3 seconds. Because they did plenty of segments throughout WrestleMania. And I think that would have been a cool moment to unite everyone. And I put all that in a text, and the person I talked to said that they would see what they can do, but nothing happened. So I do wish I was part of WrestleMania. But yeah, it was an awesome show from what I saw. But what do you think about that gut punch?
Yeah. I get how you feel, man, because
that is so annoying.
Right.
It's so annoying. Like,
right.
Come on, man. Like, of course, like for me to say, oh, I'm better than WWE. I don't need that. Of course, man. That's not me. Of course, I wish I would have wanted to be there, And
yeah.
I was rooting on. Of course, I'm going to represent myself too, and
of course,
some of my sponsors, I'm going to shout them out during WrestleMania, to get myself over and to get brands that I'm working with over, because I always say I'm a WWE veteran,
Yeah.
But of course, I wish I was there, but I got to keep it moving, Arnold.
Of course.
But yeah, that was a gut punch. What do you think about that?
No, I feel you. I totally understand where you're coming from. And, but me, I'm always looking things on the bright side, because there's so much that you can do, control the controllables. The only thing, I mean, you're valid in feeling the way you feel, but, at the same time, WrestleMania is going to be here every single year. So there's always more opportunities in the future. And that's just something that we have to look forward to.
Yeah, I know, but that's why I did that tribute video about Titus, because he does so much. And
of course,
if anyone deserves that award, it's definitely him. And I've worked with him firsthand, and his work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
We both have the same work ethic. He's got great connections. So there would be times when we would literally, and I share the story all the time, we would bust into Vince McMahon's office, and he'd shout out, hey boss, what you got for us?
Right.
And sometimes we wouldn't have anything, and then that's when the WWE app became popular, and we were like the first ones using it, really putting it on the map. Road Dogg would be like, PTP, putting the app on that map, baby. So he always rooted for us when we were doing the app. So it's just, I learned how to be proactive, even more proactive with my platform because of Titus. And I always say I taught Titus how to wrestle, because I was the first one there and the last one in developmental working with him. And people didn't take a liking to him because he was a football player. And I said, hey, big man, the same people that I got to keep it PG, are crapping on you now are going to be kissing your butt later. And he's a Hall of Famer. And all I can do as a tag team partner and brother is root for him. But yeah.
Well said, man. Well said.
Yeah, Jey Uso, baby. My boy, my ride or die Uso representing, and he deserves it. I'm glad that regardless whether it's on the pay-per-view or on SmackDown, he did it, and he's representing.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's really cool because, Jey Uso, he's always considered himself as the second player in the Usos tag team. He always follows his brother's lead, Jimmy. And now that he has no choice but to shine on his own, he's really making his mark. Now he has his own merch and his own brand, being called the right-hand man. And for him to accomplish something single-handedly as big as the Andre the Giant's Battle Royal, I think that's amazing. But since you did touch on Titus, let's bring it back to the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I thought it was really smart for them to combine 2020 and 2021 together, and they just didn't acknowledge it as the whole 2021 Hall of Fame ceremony. You know, they still gave the 2020 inductees their light, but I'm glad that it didn't happen through Zoom or anything like that I thought it was gonna be. I'm glad that it was in person.
Yeah.
But the one big element that I enjoyed about the Hall of Fame that was missing is the WWE superstars in the crowd. I miss all of them sitting down, and when
And, sorry to cut you off. A lot of people do not like that, man. A lot of the wrestlers do not like sitting through the Hall of Fame.
I know.
They don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, man. I love it, and the more people I can bring, the better. Like for the Hall of Fame, like my hookups, I would have been like, yeah, I can hook you up with the Hall of Fame. I can't hook you up with Wrestlemania. I can give you a discount for Wrestlemania.
Yeah.
But the Hall of Fame, like I got you. I'd invite all my people to the Hall of Fame. I loved it. And my favorite was when Kurt Angle got inducted, and I told my mom, who was with me, make sure you capture when he comes out, because I'm going to be the only one standing on a chair, clapping uncontrollably for him. And she captured it. I was standing on my chair when Cena announced it and was walking off stage. I was like on my chair clapping. That was a happy moment for me. I love the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's so fun, especially as a fan. You know, I know, like you said, a lot of wrestlers don't enjoy being there for the whole night. But as a fan, it's really cool to see when the inductees would make a certain comment and it pans back to some of the superstars just giggling or laughing or like thoroughly enjoying themselves. So I missed that aspect of it, and I felt like it made a huge difference to the Hall of Fame ceremony with that being taken out of the equation. But it was still good. It was still great. I did feel that the speeches were a little bit too rushed because I think they had to make room for 2 ceremonies. I get that. But yeah, I just wish like certain speeches were longer, like Scott Hall's speech for the NWO. He was just like literally, it's been a great ride. Thank you very much. And I appreciate that, and I get that that's like, you know, Scott Hall's very considerate of other people's time. But out of all the inductees, no disrespect, one of the person that I really want to hear from is the NWO. You know, I want them to all to have long speeches. But I saw the NWO, really cool. I enjoyed Kevin Nash's part. But yeah, I didn't get to see Eric Bischoff. I haven't seen his yet. I would really love to see his. What else? The Bellas were upset. I'm like, what do you mean?
Because of time.
Oh, they were upset? Really? You think so? I would think that would kind of serve their advantage, because I think, you know, maybe they're not too comfortable with being on the mic. So I thought time constraint.
I saw it online somewhere, bro. That's why I'm saying it.
Oh, okay.
Like, I saw it somewhere online that, typically, people might get 10 to 12 minutes, but they were only given maybe, 3 minutes or so? Or
yeah.
I don't know. But their time, I saw online that they were upset that they didn't have a lot of time.
You know, speaking of the Bellas, I think their fandom is so unique because I think their fandom are not wrestling fans. Because, you know, they have their podcast, they have their reality show, and especially...
the Bellas have a podcast?
Yeah, literally just called the Bellas Podcast. Daniel Bryan's a regular on that podcast. He does like brain, like the smart science trivias that they do, like part of their fun segment. So they have a podcast, they have the reality show, and, you know, especially with Nicole's boyfriend Artem being on Dancing with the Stars, I feel like their fandom is more of a reality TV fandom. Because I know they have fans. I know, you know, like a lot of people follow them. Like they're more like
it's the truth, Arnold. It's the truth. Sorry to cut you off, but it's the truth, because people that don't follow wrestling that I've met, several people, they say, you know, I don't follow the stuff you do, but what is that show on the E called?
Yeah.
I said, Total Divas or Total Bellas. Is that what it's called? Total Bellas? Yep. I mentioned that, and then all of them are like, oh, yeah, that's it.
I say that because whenever they appear on a WWE live show, they always get booed. You know, they always get booed. And they don't get booed individually. When Brie was having that storyline with Daniel Bryan and Stephanie McMahon, everyone rooted for her. And when Nikki Bella had that storyline for the women's championship, they rooted for her. But like when they're together as the Bellas, they get booed. But yeah, I thought they did good on their speech. I thought everything was well planned out. You know, they had their moments. I couldn't, if they were pissed, I definitely couldn't tell. But yeah.
Yeah.
What was your favorite Hall of Fame moment? Whose speech did you enjoy the most?
I didn't see all of them in its entirety. Titus's the one that most affected me because him and I teamed and traveled the road together. So for him to be the first active superstar to receive the award in Tampa, Florida, it all just makes sense.
Oh yeah, great timing.
This was great timing. If this was like 5 years sooner, absolutely not. You know, but. Of course, he would have been upset, you know, Tampa, Florida, Wrestlemania.
Yeah.
But it was perfect timing. Perfect timing. Like I said, 5 years, 5 years before, no, but 5 years now, yeah, it's perfect timing.
Yeah, definitely, man. He really well deserved. So, yeah, overall, the Hall of Fame for the situation of the world, it was the best that they can do, and it was still a great show. I enjoyed it. And again, I wish that some speeches were longer, but you know, I think it works out for JBL that his induction was not in front of a live crowd, because if it was, I feel like he would have gotten booed out of the building. You know, with every.
But that's what he wants. You know, that's what he wants.
Yeah. Did you hear his speech though? Did you hear how he ended it?
The only soundbite I heard, if that's how he ended it, was to all the people that he upset, and that he might have offended. What did he say?
Yeah, that's it. Like, for all the people that I upset, that I offended, I just want to say, oh, like, cry me a river or whatever. I'm JBL. I don't apologize for anything. I'm a wrestling god. And, you know, at least I know that was his way of acknowledging that he knows that there's all these, like, things that's said about him. At least he somewhat acknowledged it in his character, which is whatever.
Of course.
Yeah.
Hey, it's smart, but it's the truth.
Yeah. It would be kind of like the big elephant in the room if you didn't say anything about that. But
I tell you, if I'm in the process, and we'll see how it goes, I might as well just say it on our podcast. I'm in the process of possibly doing celebrity boxing.
What?
One person, yeah. I mean, we'll see. I might as well just mention it on here. I won't say anything publicly, you know, because nothing is signed. But I'm in the process of working on it, just because of a comment that I mentioned with Aaron Carter and Lamar Odom doing celebrity boxing. I said something in it, a comment to celebrity boxing. I said, "Where do I sign up? This is awesome." And so I'm in the process of it. But if I had the chance to fight anyone, it would be JBL. I'd want to fight him in celebrity boxing.
That's amazing. Wait, is celebrity boxing already a show?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at their Instagram, it's not a show. It's more like a pay-per-view type deal. And I guess I don't know their numbers, but...
But has it already happened?
No, it hasn't happened.
Okay.
That fight is happening in June. They just did like a face June 12th, I believe, is the fight in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Wow.
They just did a face-to-face. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But still talking about that. I think once that fight is done, then we'll start even more negotiations. I don't know. We'll see. But
that's exciting.
I'm interested in doing it, and the way I'm going to pivot it, and it makes sense, is 2020. I did my first ever musical in New York.
Yeah.
2021. I'm jumping in the ring, a different ring, a boxing ring, something I've never done before, a sport that I feared the most because I was never good with my hands as a kid. I was more of a grappler, wrestler. So for me to overcome my fear, stepping in the boxing ring with whoever is something I want to do.
way to expand your portfolio, man. And I think it's cool that when you do it, you can incorporate even your ring gear. Like your ring gear can change. You can have more of a boxing brand too, with the boxing shorts, with.
I didn't think that far into it, but that's keep going, Arnold.
Yeah, I mean, like all the little things that, how Brock Lesnar incorporates is like MMA. Now he has the fighting shorts. Now you can do that. And Goldberg too, like in his last match, he wore fighting shorts. So you can switch from the trunks to the shorts,
Interesting.
And you can even have a new finishing move, man.
A new finishing move?
Yeah. Something to do with boxing.
Bro, I have it all saved in my favorites.
There you go.
I'd have to send it to you, but it's almost like it's like a left jab and then the right punch comes right into the sternum.
Love that.
I forget this boxer. I'd have to send you the clip, but it's in my favorites on Instagram. Save stuff that I like. So yeah, that would be my move.
I love that.
Would be my move because the head can move quick, but if you hit someone in the sternum, their hands go from here to here.
It's true.
That's when you have a direct target. That's why, like Mike Tyson, like some clips that I see on Instagram with him, his training style. If you watch, like he's always aiming for the hits. He always knows how to move his feet so he can land on your side and deliver that body shot. When he delivers that body shot, your hands go down, and then you're more susceptible of getting knocked out. So yeah, I'm very big into that. But yeah, to go back to the story, if I could fight anyone, it would be JBL.
I would love to see it, man. I think everyone would love to see it.
And probably the second wrestler, if I had to choose another wrestler, I'd say Chris Jericho.
Oh, just for headline reasons?
Just for headline reasons.
Okay.
Is it going to sell?
Of course it is.
That's what he always preaches, because it's gonna look crazy, because I would pivot it like, Jericho, how's it gonna feel to get knocked out by the first LGBTQ wrestler to come down publicly? Or it could be like, man, are you tough now that you knocked out a LGBTQ superstar? Does that make you tough? So
it could go either way.
Doomed.
Yeah.
Either way he's doomed, and either way he's getting knocked out.
Yeah.
Because he's a tough guy. He has that hockey mentality.
That's right.
So I have to say JBL and Chris Jericho.
Love smart choices, man. Really smart choices. But getting back to WrestleMania, the 2-night event. For me, I'm really surprised that they still incorporate Hulk Hogan into the show. It's interesting, man, because
and Arnold, and a perfect example of how you could have incorporated the millions of dollars dance. You have Hogan and Titus doing their thing, and then somehow I come in between.
Yeah.
And then I give Hogan that look, and and then pause for a little bit, and like people get where I'm going.
Yes, of course.
And then we do the dance
all together.
Unity, first time in a long time that we've all united.
Yeah.
In the pandemic,
Yeah.
So it would have been great to do that with Hulk Hogan.
I think it was a great choice that they had Titus as the host. And I think it was kind of like a perfect situation, because if they're going to have Hogan do it, he can't do it by himself. For one, the last 2 times that he had the mic at WrestleMania, he botched the name of the arena. He just can't remember arena names anymore for some reason. But I guess with Titus, it kind of softens the blow, it gives that impression like, see guys, like, like an African American is okay with Hulk Hogan, so we should all be okay with Hulk Hogan now. Yeah. But if you listen to, even you can hear it on Peacock at WrestleMania, and I saw some stuff on Instagram where it's like live reaction of the crowd. When Hulk Hogan came out, he got booed. He no longer gets that Hulk Hogan pop when the dun dun dun. No one pops for that anymore. Now it's boos. And every time Hogan talked, you can hear the boos. So, I think it's time for WWE to just to stop using Hogan. They should still include him in the beginning intro, WWE, but when it comes to live shows like that, they should stop. Like, they need to read the room. Like, it needs to stop.
Episode 69, and this is probably the most brutal, egregious, forceful you've ever been on our podcast, you know?
But yeah, I think a lot of people feel the same.
Yeah, you were just telling it like it is.
So night one, man, 7 great matches. I'm trying to remember who kicked it off. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. So when WrestleMania started, the whole pause due to the weather situation they had, I thought WWE handled it really well. Just like the great machine that it is, they can do things last minute, and it was smart of them to cut to all these promos of all these wrestlers in the back. But the one thing that stood out to me that I really, really felt bad for was Drew McIntyre's promo. I don't know if you saw it, but one of the segments they had to stall time was an interview with Drew McIntyre. And in the interview, Drew almost cried. Like, he almost like broke, because he could tell how frustrated he is. He was being asked about his match, and he just feels like he just has the worst luck with last year winning the WWE Championship with no crowd, and now being the first match back. It gets postponed, and I think there was like a 5% chance that it might have been a backstage wrestling match because of it was an unforeseen situation. And during Drew saying how he feels, his voice cracked and he was about to cry. And even the interviewer was like, "Oh, okay, like you just need a minute." And then like Drew's like, "No, bring the mic back here." But you can just tell how frustrated he was because he didn't get to have his moment, and now that it's about to happen, the weather happened, so it's kind of like, why me? And I totally get how he feels. Oh, I don't totally get how he feels, but I can understand how he feels.
Well, for them to capture it, man, yeah, it's as real as it gets, and that's what I want to bring to the table with my stuff, believability. And Drew is bringing believability, and unfortunately, he came up with an L against Bobby Lashley, who I'm glad retained the title.
Me too. Oh, you know what's funny? I was doing a WrestleMania prediction with Vikram on Wrestling with Awareness for all the cards. And I got everything right except for Bianca and Sasha, and except for Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. But everything else I predicted right. Like, everything I said happened. And I did say that Bobby Lashley should have won because... And I knew he was going to win because they just invested in his new entrance. They just invested in this almighty brand. And it didn't make sense for him to win the championship just to lose it at Mania because Drew, now he's in a position where he doesn't need the championship. He's a main event player with or without the championship.
Yeah. I mean, but with WWE, expect the unexpected, They split the Hurt Business, knowing it and saw that coming. So, even though they invested in Bobby Lashley, they can take it from you.
True.
Just like that.
True. So, that's a good point. But I thought it was really cool that it had a great, with it being the first match, it had a great crowd reaction. Everyone was invested. At one point in the match, they started chanting, "This is awesome." And I think it was also really cool that they actually still cheered for Drew. Because, with no crowd, you can't tell. You can't tell if Drew is still... is over with the fans as a baby face if he grew stale. But the fact that they were still chanting Drew and booing Bobby Lashley was like, oh, okay, cool, man. They still love Drew.
Bro, I'm still, what did I say, bro? I mean, bro, I still haven't performed in front of a crowd. And even though I got 2020 Match of the Year with Tom Lawler with New Japan, I still haven't wrestled in front of a strong New Japan pro wrestling crowd, so that's the big test for me.
Yeah.
Getting over online and trying to create magic with no fans, and even Drew and Sheamus, they mentioned it online. That's the true test of an artist, is to be able to create magic with no crowd.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So the next match was the women's the gauntlet tag team match, and I knew from the bat that Natalia and Tamina was gonna win. I hate to sound like a smart, but I just kind of like put the two and two together because most of the teams that wrestled, they were kind of just thrown in together, right? Like Lana and Naomi and Billie Kay and Carmella, like they're literally just put together. And in my opinion, I just felt it should have been Natalia and Tamina versus Nia Jax and Shayna because this might be an unpopular opinion, but I just feel like not everyone needs to be in the WrestleMania card, right?
Oh, hey man, I've seen it firsthand. Like if people doing it, whatever it takes,
Yeah.
to get on that card, including me.
Yeah.
When Titus and I split up, and I just gotta relate stories to my experience.
Sure.
If I've never said it, but it's just like I can relate, bro.
Yeah.
I think Titus and I had split up for a second time, and I was in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and I begged and pleaded with Scott Armstrong, please, could I just be one of the last ones in there, have a great moment, be one of the last ones in there, and then. Or one of the last four in there and have a moment so people can be like, oh man, what a great moment for Darren Young. What's next for him? And then that's when Bob Backlund and I would have started our vignettes and all that stuff. But yeah, I remember one battle royal. I think it was four of us in there. I finally got what I wanted.
Yeah, you did, man.
I had my moment. It was me, Kane, Bo Dallas, and I forget who the fourth one was, honestly. But yeah, I had my moment. So yeah, if people aren't on the show, people are very, very upset. So people work all year to have this moment. So not having any headliners on, people are scratching and clawing to really get on.
Yeah, I get that. And speaking of moments, I'm really glad that Tamina had her moment. Excuse me, with the splash. You know, that was really cool for Natalie to be like, no, you up, and to give her that WrestleMania moment. And it's pretty cool for Tamina, man. She went from no WrestleMania matches to 2. Now she has 2 WrestleMania matches, Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
But I think it was a great call for Natalya and Tamina to win the gauntlet match because they really did have a shot as a threat to the tag team championship for Sunday. Some people thought they were gonna win. And also another cool moment was obviously well-deserved. Cesaro, he delivered like he always delivers every night that he goes out there. To him, that was just another Tuesday for him. He always puts on WrestleMania matches all the time. So,
and people are calling that match of the night for night 1 of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And just from what I saw, and just from people genuinely saying that, I definitely have to co-sign to that. One of the moments is him pulling out that the tremendous balance. I've seen him do that on the Indies, and for him to bust that out WrestleMania, are CrossFit junkies and great friends of one another, and for them to have their own WrestleMania moment, I'm glad Cesaro got the W.
Yeah, I'm really happy for him. Well deserved. I hope it leads to bigger and better things for him, and I want another singles championship run for him. But if it doesn't happen, it's okay. Like he has everyone's respect, and he has the United States Championship title under his belt before, so he has that in his resume. But yeah, I hope we see more of Cesaro. Another match that
I mean, honestly, in the future, I'd love to see Cesaro take it from Roman.
Yeah,
Cesaro can go, man. I'd love to. That's how you build people up. That won't hurt Roman. A loss to Cesaro,
no,
absolutely not. That'll help build him up.
And especially as Cesaro being a former Paul Heyman guy, that makes sense.
Absolutely. That's how you make stars. But,
yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah, just personal opinion if we're sitting at the meeting.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. And another highlight match that I thoroughly enjoyed and it blew everyone away was, John Morrison and The Miz versus Damian Priest and Bad Bunny. And man, like, I've been hearing rumors that he's been in the Performance Center every day, training and wanting, like, it shows that he really cares and it's just not this thing that he's doing. He really wants to put his 100% effort to it. But he he blew everyone's mind away. He did moves that a lot of wrestlers can't do, man. He was doing some Rey Mysterio things out there. And the first movie, I don't know what you call it. It's not a hurricanrana, but who does that? When you're kind of like flying for a little bit, like, you know what I'm saying? When he twirls and I don't know. I think like TJ Perkins does it, but he did that move and he did it perfectly, and that was the first time everyone was like, "Oh, damn, this is gonna be great."
Yeah, yeah. Whatever you're hearing online about him, at the Performance Center and all that stuff, I definitely believe it. I mean, of all people, Randy Orton is co-signing that.
Yeah.
After him watching Bad Bunny's performance, he's officially a WWE superstar in his opinion.
Yeah.
A lot of people I've talked to said that they've never heard a Bad Bunny song. I said, I don't care. I mean, it's mainstream. He's making moves in music somehow, some way. For him to be a part of WWE, why not? It's something that he wants to do. Give him a shot. And he put in the work, and he's doing Canadian destroyers on the outside of the ring. I'm like, oof.
Yeah.
It looked good.
And listen,
I never took one of those. I'm sure I will. I'm sure, and in 19 plus years coming up in September, I'm sure I will take one, especially in Japan.
And listen, you know me, man. I respect the business. I respect WWE for what it is.
You do.
But with all due respect, I will say that not a lot of people know this, but right now, Bad Bunny is bigger than WWE. We don't know that because I feel like his fan base is more international, but he is massive, man. He is massive all over the world. And, this year he won Grammys. He hosted SNL. He's just done all these amazing things. And, with all due respect, he didn't need WWE. WWE needed him to put eyes on the product. So for him to treat it with such respect and treat it and putting all his work in, it just goes to show what a great guy he is. And he took it seriously, which is awesome. And to me, there's only 3 celebrities that fit right into the WWE mold: Bad Bunny, Ronda Rousey, and Stephen Amell. Like, Stephen Amell also killed it, the Arrow, when he wrestled SummerSlam with Neville and Stardust Cody. He's great in the ring as well because he's a true athlete. And now, Stephen Amell, he loves pro wrestling. He's big friends with Young Bucks. He's always wearing like the Young Bucks Bullet Club shirt on his Instagram. But yeah, those are the top 3 celebrities that fit right in, to WWE to me. But I love the match. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely relate to Bad Bunny just diving headfirst into his WWE experience, me diving headfirst into a musical, and trying to be the best you can. Me at the musical, first one there, last one to leave, practicing, trying to get it right. So Bad Bunny putting in the work and getting Randy Orton's signature of approval as a WWE superstar, that's major. So hopefully we see more of him. Him and Triple H had an interaction on Wrestlemania with Triple H giving him a secret box with a microphone in it.
Yeah.
So Triple H saying, "Hey, do your thing, but I guess you're always welcome back in WWE." So yeah, very cool moment.
Very cool. And Fred, I'm kind of drawing a blank. I know we covered 4 matches, and I know what the last match is. I'm missing 2 matches from night 1. Do you remember?
Not so much, man. obviously, the ones that you mentioned were your favorites, So
yeah.
Your highlights. If you don't remember the other ones, obviously they.
I feel bad,
especially for freestyle.
Yeah.
69.
Yeah, you're right.
Obviously, it didn't stand out to you.
But okay, so let's talk about the main event then. It was a huge main event. I didn't realize that it was going to be the main event until the night of, because I don't think they promoted it as the main event until Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. And it's history because it's the first female one-on-one match And not only that, it's the first time ever two African American females, right? Like wrestling each other at the last match of WrestleMania for night one. So it was a big deal. And I watched that match with Hart. And there was this moment, I'm sure you've seen it before the match, where the bell, ding, ding, ding. And Bianca Belair took it all in and she cried. And then Sasha saw that she was crying and it got her emotional too, where you can see she bit her under lip like that because she was about to like quiver, and she kind of had to like okay, it is what it is. You're right. It's a big moment. Let's perform. Like she said all that with the look that she was giving to Bianca, and they're like, let's do this. And as soon Hart cries a lot. So when Bianca cried, she just started like bawling. And she doesn't follow WWE too much, but she watches big events with me. So I would ask her like, oh, who are you rooting for? So off the bat, she's like, oh, I'm rooting for Bianca. And I'm like, okay, then I got Sasha. So when Bianca started crying, she's like, okay, now I really like want her to win, and I think it was one of the best matches, one of the most memorable matches I've ever seen. And just me watching it as a fan, Sasha's a great athlete and she performed and she did so well, but that was Bianca's night. Most of the stuff that I remember about that match was Bianca's spots, her strength, her agility, and the fact that she one of the things she did was she carried Sasha from outside of the ring, carried her to the ramp, and threw her into the ring. Not a lot of people can do that. But yeah, like you said, everything was on point, and it was a big moment, man. It was the perfect way to end WrestleMania Night 1. But anyways, I checked back on the two matches that I missed, and it was Braun Strowman versus Shane, and also the tag team match, The New Day and AJ and Omos. But again, the tag team match didn't really stand out to me. But with Braun and Shane, I thought it was a great match for kids. It was very cartoonish. It was very like Braun the Giant, roar, very very cartoonish match. But it delivered. It served its purpose. So, and Shane took a horrible bump. When I say horrible, he landed perfectly, but it was a scary bump from the top rope. But he landed perfect on his back, man. What a pro!
Top rope, the top of the cage.
Sorry, top of the cage. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can get away with doing that once a year, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What a bump, man. What a WrestleMania moment. As
True.
Always, something big happening.
Yeah. But yeah, Braun looked great, man. He was in great shape. He's been maintaining that shape for a while, which is great. But with that said, that was night 1. Again, such a great main event. It was the right call to have Sasha and Bianca main event night 1. To me, man, I thought night 1 was superior to night 2. In my opinion, I like some of the matches were better in my opinion, and I was so excited for The Fiend and Randy Orton, and I was so happy that was the first match. And The Fiend had one of the best entrants ever. I loved it, and I love how he went back to his regular form. Alexa Bliss is just killing it with her character. You can tell she's having fun. She's so comfortable in it. And I love how he popped out of the Jack in the Box thing, and it was so cool. And it was the perfect way to start the match. It was fast paced. The first thing The Fiend did was jump from the box into the ring. And, a lot of people were pissed about the ending. I feel I can step back and look at it on both sides. I appreciate the fact that now we have a new storyline with Alexa Bliss and The Fiend. And I thought they delivered it, executed it really well. It wasn't corny at all when Alexa Bliss started bleeding and it was all black all over her face. I just felt like that match should have been not on a WrestleMania match. I think because to me, WrestleMania is always the ending of a chapter, the ending of a book. And I left that match feeling confused, looking forward to okay, what's going to happen on Raw. But to me, I felt WrestleMania should be like a season finale where everything gets answered and Raw happens and it's like, okay, a brand new feud. So, but again, it was executed really well, but I just felt
it was executed very well because it keeps both characters strong,
Yes,
correct?
yes, absolutely. Randy
And it's
gets a
very important because Randy Orton's an OG, and you just can't do the Fiend in like that. You know what I mean?
yep.
He's reinvented himself, so
Mm-hmm.
you gotta like have him lose in a way that still keeps him strong. So I get
Yes.
why they did. I get why they did what they did, but I have to mention before I lose my train of thought that one of my favorite parts of just any major pay per view or WrestleMania or any WrestleMania is the gear,
Yeah.
And Randy Orton sporting the white was my favorite. I'm actually thinking about it, just getting some white gear because I've never had white gear. So why not? I might as well do it now because, as you mentioned in a previous podcast, Randy Orton wishes that he could have done more stuff with the Wyatt family because been with them longer because covering your body. Not 37, you're only, when you hit 30s, everything's down. It's supposed to be downhill, but it's not.
Yeah.
Because I make my 30s jealous of my 20s. But, you get older, stuff starts to sag. So, Randy and I are in the same boats. We pride ourselves on our physique. But I'm going to have to get some white gear. I'm definitely going to have to get some white gear. But I also don't want it to look like I'm wearing a diaper, too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have to be very careful with that. Maybe get something that is maybe like white goldish. I'm not sure, but I don't want it to look like that I'm wearing a diaper.
I get it.
You have to be very careful with white because white is like, again, WrestleMania. You can only wear it once.
Yep.
Really.
Yep.
So I have to think about that. I might maybe get a new pair of gold. Just like all gold gear that you can wear a lot.
Yeah.
But white gear, man, is very tough to keep clean. And I've heard that from experience other guys have done. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, white gear is great. Randy Orton sporting it.
Yeah.
Always one of my favorite parts of WrestleMania, what the guys are going to be wearing and girls are going to be wearing.
Very true, man. Very true. But with that said, I think the production was great for that match. Everything was done well. But again, I just felt like it should have been a chapter closed. But it's going to be a new book, which is fine. But I just felt confused. So the second match was, again, the tag team match again for the women's tag team championship. Tamina and Natalia versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. I honestly thought Tamina should have won. Tamina and Natalia should have won because, Nia and Shayna has that championship for a while now, and they haven't really done anything too memorable with it. And it would be nice for Natty to hold the tag team championship because it means so much for her dad. And it would have been nice for Tamina to get that second win at WrestleMania and hold a championship for her first time ever in WWE. I just thought that would have been the right time to do it. So I'm really surprised that went the other way. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that, man?
Definitely that definitely should have been a moment for Natty and Tamina. But they're back to chasing it again.
Yeah.
And ultimately, hopefully, they get it.
Yeah. The next match, I believe, was Apollo versus Big E. And I'm so happy for both of them, man. That match meant a lot to both of them. It's a new opportunity, especially Apollo, because Apollo felt like he's from Lillian Garcia's podcast. I learned that Apollo's kind of felt discouraged. He wants to connect with the fans, and now he kind of found his lane. And I think he's doing the accent very well. The whole thing, he's owning it. And it made sense for him to win the IC championship. Although I felt like he still would have been okay if he didn't win it. But the fact that the match was catered to him and his new branding, it made sense that he won. And the one thing that it's very small, but it's not even in the match. But the one thing that kind of discouraged me was Big E's entrance with Wale performing it, because you could tell Wale was lip syncing, and there were times where the audio was going off and Wale didn't have the mic in his mouth. So I'm like, dude, like, I know it's WrestleMania. I know you're like has to be perfect, but you're a rapper. You should be like doing this live, and like that was just very weird to me. But other than that, that's just nitpicking. But
Yeah, I mean that's very important, you know. I mean because we're watching. If you're a fan of Wale, you're watching it. You're watching it, and obviously, you know, he's a big WWE fan, and you gotta you gotta make your stuff look good, you know.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't notice that. But did a lot of people mention that online?
No, I didn't really read into it, but maybe they did. I'm not sure. But me and like my group of friends that was watching it, we definitely caught that. We're like, oh no.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're a performer, so I mean, you're gonna catch that stuff, you
Yeah,
know.
that's
But yeah,
true.
that's important. That's important, you know. I don't know if they rehearsed the entrance. Maybe they didn't rehearse the entrance, but I'm pretty sure that everything that is like on stage,
Yeah,
everything is like everything. I'm pretty sure is rehearsed. I've seen it, so
yeah,
I don't know. I
yeah,
don't know, but yeah, I'm glad Apollo had that moment and he's comfortable. That's so important, you know. That's important for me not to have those inner blocks. We all
hmm
have those inner blocks, but
yeah,
37 years old, well, 30 when I came out. Like once you unlock those inner blocks that we all have, you get so much access to cool stuff, and
yes,
he's experiencing it. I'm experiencing it. So
yeah,
yeah, I'm always showing Apollo love, and you've seen it firsthand about you know how much love he's shown for me. So yeah, I'm very happy that he got his first IC win. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
so he's held the U.S. title once or twice, correct?
Twice, I think.
Twice. Yeah, give him a shot with the IC championship. It's
Yeah,
not gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt Big E. So yeah, I'm glad he had his moment. And that big guy, I forget his name, but I
me
know
too.
that that's his debut. I've seen him in the performance, and I've worked
Yeah.
out with him. You know,
hmm
so um, yeah, I'm happy for him. You know, making moves now.
Yeah, yeah, and he did his thing during Raw Underground as well. That's where a lot of people
Yes,
knew him
yes,
from. So, yeah, it's
yes.
cool to see new characters being introduced.
Hmm.
And then the next one I believe is the Riddle versus Sheamus match, and I knew that Sheamus was gonna win because, for one, it's not gonna hurt Riddle to lose a championship to Sheamus, but also I think it was a reward for Sheamus for doing so well for the last few months that he's been, working with WWE. He's had killer matches with Drew. He was a good sport about it. He was brought back to the main event status, so it was kind of his reward, and I could tell already that he was gonna win it. And man, that kick from that moonsault to Riddle's mouth, man, that was brutal, and it was the only way to do it, man. Like it was like a nice blessing, unexpected blessing in that match because they needed that, and it was great.
Yeah, I get real giddy because any big time in wrestling or any big type of headlines that I like, I'm gonna comment on. And some of the major Instagrams commented on that and tagged Sheamus, and I would comment and say that and I think I mentioned it on Sheamus's page that the intensity that he brings is something that I mirror in New Japan.
hmm
So that's so important. That intensity, being physical, hitting hard in safe places. Uh, he does it great, you know. So he's a guy I like to mirror, and he always likes my comments and stuff like that. But yeah, and the slip up on the
Oh
ropes, the recover,
yeah,
and that's great. You know, I wouldn't have been upset. You know, you stumble, you fall. It happens. You
it's life.
recover. You know, if it was my first year in the business, I would have been devastated. But me doing it, as long as I've been doing it, I'm gonna
Yeah,
adjust, recover, and deliver the boom. I'm not gonna freak out, and he didn't freak out.
no,
He still recovered, delivered the boom. But yeah, Sheamus is one of along with Randy Orton, I have to throw in Sheamus when it comes to uh, how they move, the in between stuff that they do, not copying them, you know, but the in between stuff and the timing and the accuracy and the
yeah.
intensity. I live for.
And speaking of not freaking out, big props to Mandy Rose for not freaking out after her fall during her entrance. I don't know if you caught that, but she slipped. But she got back
Yeah,
up
so
and she acknowledged it and she moved on and she didn't make it a big thing. She didn't make it awkward. That was great.
yeah, those are the worst. But like something that
Yeah.
Sheamus did, I think it's cool. But slipping on the entrance, like Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know,
we all
man.
still
Like,
remember Ultimo Dragon slip up at Mania when he
yeah,
tripped over his cape.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's not fun at all, you know. But
Yeah,
like I said, Sheamus is, hey, you're in a fight, you know, you're in the top rope, you know,
yeah,
like stuff happens, the rope shake, your hips could give out, but to recover and then deliver the boom, that's, you know, that's props to me.
absolutely, man.
Props to me to him.
I get it. Yeah. So, another special match that happened was Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. And I think it was so special for both of them because Kevin Owens he mentioned in the promo, they fought all over the world. They got into this business together. And both of them have been told that they won't make it at a mainstream level and they don't have what it takes. And here they are, after battling in front of people that's like an 18 people crowd to WrestleMania, they did it. And both of them did it. It's like an Edge and Christian moment that, they shared this journey together and they made it to the top together. And a lot of people, kind of saw this as a negative thing to have Logan Paul involved in the match. But, it didn't take away from the match. And also Logan served his purpose. Because he got eyes on the match and, he wasn't heavily involved. He just got that stunner at the end, which everyone kind of expected. But man, I know everyone has their opinions about Logan Paul and it's justifiable. But, in my opinion, I think he delivered, promo-wise on SmackDown, I saw him do his segment. It felt real. It felt genuine. Nothing felt forced. And he kind of took the stunner the way a normal civilian would take the stunner. It looked deadly. It looked like his neck snapped. I thought he took the stunner very well, man.
You're absolutely right on. I agree. I mean, that's all I can say. He took it like a civilian.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how you should,
Yeah.
Even me, I mean, if I take a stunner now, I might take it unusual just to be different.
Yeah.
Not too crazy, but just like believable. I don't know what I would do.
Sure.
Honestly, but like I'm all about, either do it like a civilian or, like when it comes to selling and I'm teaching a wrestling class, I tell people to YouTube the best UFC knockouts, the best boxing knockouts, and try to see how they fall.
Yeah.
They don't always fall on their back. They just crumble, and if you've been doing it as long as I have and you take a nice shot, that's safe, and you can crumble and make it look real, like just watch some of my highlights on YouTube. I mean, not on YouTube, on my Instagram of New Japan, just being very rough and aggressive, especially with Hikuleo, brothers.
I saw that.
Grills of Destiny. And like I always say, at this point in my career, I'm trying to elevate talent.
Yeah.
Make them look as strong as possible, and as believable as possible. So, yeah, that's my bread and butter, baby, the selling.
Yeah.
Believability, but still being safe, safe.
Yeah. I always thought it was unique the way Billy Gunn and Chris Benoit would take the stunner because a lot of people, of course, The Rock's way is very memorable, but a lot of people have it where they land, they're on their back. But Billy Gunn was the first to land flat on his face. It was during a segment where Stone Cold was trying to figure out who hit him with the car. And the rumor was whoever hit him had blonde hair. So Billy Gunn was suspect number one. And this is after he came back from a shoulder injury when Bubba Ray hit him with a pipe on his shoulder. And we haven't seen him on TV in a while. And he came back and he got stunned. And when he got stunned, he landed on his face. And that was the first time I saw anyone took the stunner like that. And I thought that was cool. But the second person that to me felt really unique was Chris Benoit because when he gets stunned, Chris wouldn't go on his knees. He would stay on his feet and he would just go down and it would just fall straight back. And that was so different to how a lot of people would take it because some people would go down on their knees as well and then fall over. But he was just literally on his feet the whole time and he would just go down and, land flat on his back.
Yeah, I might take it like Benoit. I have a feeling that I might take it like him.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good way to take it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and another great match was Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. And I feel like this is one of those things in life where everything happens for a reason, because last year Rhea Ripley had that segment where she, she was uh thinking about how big the match is, like her first match at WrestleMania. And she was looking at the stadium like, wow, I can't believe I'm going to perform here. And obviously it didn't happen. It happened in the Performance Center. She wrestled Charlotte for the NXT Championship and she lost. But, again, I think this is one of those times where life teaches us that everything happens for a reason, because now she did wrestle one full year later back in the stadium that she thought she was going to wrestle in. But this time she won the Raw Women's Championship in front of a live crowd. So even a better moment, in my opinion. But yeah, well deserved. Well deserved. Rhea Ripley has put her work in. She has a unique look. And it was great. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance. Again, I just saw all highlights.
Sure.
Good for them.
Yeah, definitely, man. Which brings us to the main event, and what a main event it was. Roman Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan. And I think before anyone saw it, I already saw before they mentioned it, I already knew how special this match was, because take Roman, Edge, and Daniel Bryan out of the equation and put Joe, Bryan, and Adam into the equation. Those three men have been told that they will never wrestle again. Roman with leukemia, Bryan with his concussion, and Adam with his neck. And they thought their chances of main event WrestleMania was slim to none. And here they are, those three men main eventing WrestleMania. It's you can't make this stuff up, man. Like sometimes.
Did they share this in the highlight packages?
They shared it at Adam's documentary, Edge's Chronicle, but they never.
About all three of them.
Yeah, but storyline wise, that was not mentioned. They don't want to take the human side into it. They want to make it all very character driven. So they didn't talk about that at all.
Okay.
It was all about the build up to the championship. They didn't want to make it like a second chance type of thing. But I noticed that I realized that already before I saw Adam's doc. I just thought how powerful that was. But man, what a performance by all three. It just goes to show when you have three A-list players, it's just perfection.
And with the Edge, how come the same gear as Randy? Is there a story about that?
I don't know.
Did they mean to do that?
I think it was a coincidence. But yeah, they did match each other. But yeah, I think it was a coincidence, man. I don't think. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And again, Edge with the white gear, again, a favorite of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you have the white gear and your tanner, you got that WrestleMania tan. Oh,
yeah.
Perfect. Picture perfect for me.
Yeah. And, I thought it was the right call for Roman to win. They all put on a perfect, great performance. It was one of those things where you don't know who was going to win. And I was happy with whoever would win. There was a win-win situation for me. But it made sense for Roman to win because, in my opinion, Daniel Bryan and Edge being on the main event of WrestleMania was already their victory. That was already, they did it. But for Roman, he needed that win for his character to prove that he is the tribal chief, head of the table. And it can, the story can continue. And I thought...
The tribal chief.
Yep.
The tribal chief, the head of the table, and the back of the bus guy.
Back of the bus guy. Nice.
Back of the bus.
Nice.
Of the bus. He rules the back of the bus.
Yeah, makes sense, as he should, man. But I thought someone was gonna return. I thought Jimmy Uso was gonna show up, or I thought like you predicted before that a new member from the Samoan Dynasty might pop up and join his faction. But we didn't get any of that. But which is okay. There's still time for that. But it was a great match, and I knew that Roman was gonna win because the last 3 WrestleMania it ended with a babyface winning, a feel good moment. So there needed it was much needed that a WrestleMania ended with a heel, being victorious at the end of it.
Yeah. Again, a beautiful story told, and hopefully they can stretch a moment out where maybe Jimmy Uso comes back,
Yeah.
adds to the Samoan dynasty, and then maybe have another heavy hitter, the Samoan Werewolf.
Yeah.
He's like Umaga, who flies even more.
Wow.
He's the Tonga kid. He used to team with Rikishi way back in the 80s.
Yes, I remember.
The Tonga Kid's son, who I've wrestled for APW, All Pro Wrestling in San Francisco. And I remember us hardly even talking because he was coming from another show to make this show to Wrestlemania. We hardly talked, and we had a stellar match, man.
Amazing.
So yeah, I love to see like a faction that would be different, because I don't know if there's ever been like a Samoan type faction that's managed by Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think they can really stretch that out for a long time.
Absolutely, man. And I think it'll be cool when Jimmy returns, because he kind of has a new look. I don't know if you've seen it, but he grew his hair back out. And now he kind of has a brown streak a little bit on his hair. That looks pretty cool.
I saw that, So yeah, again, they come together. They're all individuals who think individually, who are family that work collectively, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, coming back with the different looks. They both had their own. Maybe all three of them had their own T-shirt. All four of them.
Yeah.
Down the line, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're all individuals making moves. So yeah, hopefully it can grow. I'd be a big fan.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And that's WrestleMania. That's WrestleMania, man. And I thought it was great.
That's WrestleMania, man. But we can't forget about Stone Cold Steve Austin and Chris Jericho doing their podcast.
Yeah.
I actually thanked Chris Jericho. He just put out a post, I think either yesterday or today. I think it was yesterday. He put out a post about his new book coming out, and I posted, and it got like hundreds of likes from fans. I posted that he's been a big inspiration in my wrestling journey, and something that stood out to me. And I'm just paraphrasing what I said. What stood out to me was when he mentioned that with WWE, he didn't want to be a second match type of guy.
Yeah.
He felt like his career was like going towards that, and he's better than that. And I could relate to that, with my release. It happens, but I have to move on, and my bucket list was New Japan. So they didn't come to me. I went to them and said, I want to work with you. I'll try out. I'll do whatever it takes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I got the opportunity, and I was either going to crap the bed or have some of my best matches, my best work, and I'm doing some of my best work so far. But the true test is in front of a crowd. You know what I mean?
You're right.
So on many occasions, the two I just mentioned, Chris Jericho was an inspiration to me, and I let him know that. And I remember just looking at the comments, and one fan was like, that sounds like a drunk message. Oh, thank you. I said I haven't drunk since August 2017.
Yeah.
So I needed to comment on that troll on social media. But yeah, it come from the heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm already in my own lane with New Japan strong.
True.
So I don't need AEW. I really don't. You know? And hopefully sometime this year in the future, I will get to Japan and work with some greats like Tanahashi.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it's going to happen, man. And, you mentioned, rightfully so, Stone Cold and Chris Jericho's podcast. To me, that was bigger than Chris Jericho joining AEW, to be honest, for me. Because when Chris Jericho joined AEW, I didn't get chills the way I got chills when I found out that he was going to be on Stone Cold's podcast, because I already knew it was kind of going that way, because obviously Chris Jericho's already been in New Japan, associated himself with the Young Bucks and, with Cody. So I was like, okay, it's not that big of a deal, because I saw it coming. Not that it's not a big deal, but I saw it coming. This one, I was blindsided. I had no, with the countdown, the teaser for it, and it's just Chris Jericho and Stone Cold looking at us and winking. That was really cool. That was the best way to promote it. And it gave me chills, and it brought me back to when I was a kid, when I would see my favorite WWF wrestlers showing up at Nitro out of nowhere, so really cool.
Another amazing Chris Jericho moment was when he posted at the airport in Tampa. The WWE private jet was at the airport, and he took a selfie with it behind him. Did you see that?
Oh, no, I didn't see that. Was that on his Instagram?
Yeah, that's on his Instagram. If you go to his, one of the most recent pictures with the WWE jet behind him, and he had just, posted it one morning, West Coast time, 7 a.m., and I woke up, posted it. He had posted it in 3 minutes, and I commented saying, "Good God, good God, the takeover's happening in the air." And it got 500 so likes, probably
cool.
more now.
Yeah.
From fans saying that. So
that's great.
I thought it was funny. The invasion is going to happen in the air.
I love it, man. I love it. But what a great week. Of course, nothing's going to be perfect, but overall, as a fan, I'm super satisfied, super entertained with everything that's going on in pro wrestling in general, man. And new season, here's a new season in WWE. And I love the new WWE intro. I don't know if you saw it, but they changed it. And, now they have little audio from all the famous quotes of WWE, and that's the bottom line, oh, you can't see me and all that. So it kind of gives you the chills and it gets you pumped up to watch the program when that's the first thing that you see. So I love it. But yeah, man, overall WrestleMania in the books, WrestleMania 37, and next year is going to be in Texas. And
it's going to be one night.
Really?
Yeah, because I saw it. I saw it one night in Dallas, one night
shit.
in LA in
Whoa, wow.
2023. Yeah.
Damn, now that I'm just getting used to 2 nights, they're bringing it back to 1 night. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I thought it was going to be 2 nights from this point on. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think, Stephanie McMahon did some kind of they do their quarterly, stock calls and all that stuff with their stockholders. And she said that they did it 2 nights to kind of ease everyone back in, and they want to go back to 1 night.
Okay.
So they have the 1 night in Dallas and LA, so that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that will be a lot of fun. Hopefully the weather won't be an issue, and I think after Dallas is when we're gonna see it in LA at SoFi, right?
Yeah. So definitely, when that drops, you're gonna have to, somehow get the hookup, or somehow there's got to be some kind of sponsors there, that you can work with. So just like the one football game we went to.
That's right, man.
Yeah, you got to look into that.
Yeah, for sure. I got 2 years.
Yeah. Well, hey man, you got stuff you got to start now, because I don't know if it's true or not, but when WWE is in town for WrestleMania, they buy up a lot of places, so wrestling doesn't run, other wrestling shows don't run. So
sure.
I don't know how that works, but yeah, they start I would love to do my own show,
Yeah.
Somewhere in West Hollywood, outside, I think it would be really cool. But yeah, we'll see who's running and stuff like that. But I was very happy that, because I was busy anyway being a gunkle, and I was busy in February and March with so many projects, that I'm glad that I didn't go to Tampa and be a part of any other wrestling festivities, because family comes first with me.
Yeah, as it should, man, as it should. I think that's a perfect way to end it. Again,
a perfect way to end episode 69, just me and you. Episode 70, I don't tell, I don't spill the beans, on a guest, because sometimes, how it goes, Arnold. Sometimes it never happens. But our next guest is going to be Steve Cutler, former WWE superstar from the Forgotten Sons. He's going to be our next guest on Pro and Bro Wrestling. Episode 69, it was just you and me. Episode 70, I'll be Steve Cutler from the Forgotten Sons. So we want to hear his story. I always said, don't die with a story and you tell it, and he's got a major story. Steve Cutler, a major fact, out of all the wrestlers that I've met in my life that have said, oh, I'm going to be a WWE superstar, He's the only one that like told me in a little bar in New Jersey that he was thinking about being a wrestler. Just got out of the Marines, and he went to a wrestling school over the years. He ultimately did a trial, got signed with WWE, and made it to NXT. He's the only one in my lifetime that said he was going to do it and did it. So he'll be our next guest on Pro and Pro Wrestling.
That's going to be a great one, man. I can't wait for that. It's always nice to hear a true-to-life fairy tale story, a Cinderella story for someone who made it like that. And it's encouraging to others. If he can do it, anyone else can do it too. It just takes a lot of hard work, dedication, and a lot of sacrifice, but it can be done. And on that note, thank you guys so much for listening and watching this episode. It's been a fun one. We're just two wrestling fans who love to talk wrestling. So this is amazing for me. If you guys are watching us on YouTube, make sure you guys give us a thumbs up and leave a comment. And if you guys are listening to us on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating and leave us a review. So, we know what you guys like or don't like about this podcast. And with that said,
block the hate, salute the great Arnold Telegaartha.